मान्य सभासदों, मान्य उप सभापति जी,
Manekam. Namaskaram. Now discussion on the working of the Ministry of Women and Child Development. What is the problem? No, sit down. What is your problem? You are always with, what happened?
The project was permitted by the DMK government.
So what?
It was opposed by Honorable Amma and now prevented by only because of the effective steps taken by Honorable Amma. Now the project is not implemented.
I did not say anything about that.
DMK is playing double game.
So what can I do for that?
DMK is playing double game.
Having
granted the project.
Okay. Sit down. Now, Srimati, Honorable Minister, Honorable Srimati Maneka Gandhi, Honorable Minister.
Honorable Chairman.
Please.
Honorable Chairman.
At least in March, we are seeing the day when we are hearing on this important issue, the reply of the ministry.
So now you listen.
The minister has been ready from August.
Yeah, she was ready.
Honorable
But
Chairman.
item has to be listed in the list of business. Then only the minister can come. Yes. Please.
At the outset, I would like to thank all the honorable members of this august House who have taken a keen interest in the discussions of the working of my ministry. I would like to thank all of them specially since I have been ready with my answer since last August. I would like to thank them for again and again, especially Mr. Rajya, reminding the Honorable Chairman that I should be allowed to give an answer. However, the fact that I am giving an answer 8 months later, in spite of being the first subject that this government took up for discussion after we were sworn in, has changed the answer somewhat to make them more hopeful, because I will now give you an up-to-date rather than right at the beginning of my stint in the ministry. This ministry addresses the issues and problems of women and children that constitute nearly 70% of the population. As observed by some of the esteemed members, these problems cannot be handled or be confined to the responsibility of a single department or ministry. They are issues that need to be thought about and tackled by the entire society if any impact is to be made. The mindset of the society, as many members have pointed out, needs to be changed, and for this a movement is required. My ministry's functioning is guided by two objectives: to empower women to live with confidence, dignity and economic and educational abilities, to nurture children to develop to their full potential, make them safe and healthy in protective environments. In the last few months, the ministry has taken up new areas of activities, processes and new ways of doing things. This is intended to produce more outcomes and results that impact positively on our mandated community. This period has allowed us to review the past with a view to making future programs and activities impactful and significant. I will now try to take up the concerns expressed by the honourable MPs and place before the August House various initiatives. If you have forgotten the questions and the issues that you have taken up by now, I have a list, so you're most welcome to ask me. One of the most important challenges before us is the declining child sex ratio. Female feticide. Shri Satish Chandra Mishra, Shri Sharad Yadavji, Srimati Gundu Sudharani, Shri Derek O'Brien have touched upon the same subject. The declining sex ratio is alarming and disturbing. It has declined from 945 in 1991 to 927 in 2001, 918 in 2011, and probably is even less today. Coordinated and convergent efforts are needed to ensure the survival, protection and empowerment of the girl child. Recognizing the need for urgent action, the government has announced in its budget speech 2014 to 15 Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao program to empower the girl child and enable her education. Over the last few months, my ministry has worked closely with the Ministries of Human Resource Development and Health and Family Welfare to design and prepare for implementation of the Beti Bachao initiative. This program seeks to arrest the trend of declining CSRs and over time to reverse it. Critical to show so that you will see the impact. We have taken 100 critical low CSR districts in all states and UTs of the country and focused our action on them. I have taken workshops all over India. Just yesterday, I took a workshop in Amritsar to find out what is being done in this program. And so far, it is going extremely well. If you would like the details, I'm happy to give them to you. But I'll just finish the speech and then, if you have time, you can ask. This program was launched by the Honorable Prime Minister on the 22nd of January at Panipat. That is, on this day, we also launched village-to-village outreach programs through mobile vans, which carry the message of Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao through audio-visual national presentation in the selected 100 districts. As I said, I have been personally connecting with collectors and magistrates of these 100 districts through video conferences and going there for monitoring the program. One of the important components of this program is to promote institutional delivery, as has been suggested by the honourable members during the discussions. We work with health and family welfare to promote institutional deliveries. The key to the success of the initiatives will lie with the communities and Panchayati Raj, as Shri Manishankar Iyer has repeatedly pointed out. I would like to appeal to the members, if any of you come from these 100 districts, to come and take part so that we can deliver results within 2 years. We expect to see a dramatic increase in the number of women. You will also, if any of you listen to the radio, you will also see that we've almost saturated it with uplifting messages. We have also done a lot of films. We have sent vans to every village. We have made every village take out a list of how many men and how many women, how many girls and how many boys are in each village so that they can see for themselves. We have instituted rewards for informers who tell us when a child is being aborted. Abortion is not illegal, I would like to inform the members, but abortion, when it comes to sex selection, is illegal. So we have asked informants. We are giving awards to any village that reaches an on-par status. A lot of work and effort has gone into making this program simple, doable, and the head of each program is the district collector magistrate. We have started the work on establishment of one-stop centers for women who are affected by violence. This, I was really keen to start last year. We have got the go-ahead now, and the go-ahead has been given for 1 per state to begin with. Once this is done and it starts working, because we have to do a lot of training of the staff, then we will take it to the next level, which is 1 per district. We have requested the states and union territories to provide us land for establishing one-stop centers. We will be, as I said, we will be extending this to 1 center in each district. These centers will provide legal, medical. Yes. Shall I do it now or after this? Okay, I'll just finish this paragraph and then I'll come back to it. These centers will provide, here's your answer, legal, medical, psychosocial and police assistance to women who have either suffered violence or anticipate violence from being stalked, from being hounded. These centers will be linked through a helpline for women, which is being designed in collaboration with the Ministry for Home Affairs. The money for this is coming out of the Nirbhaya Trust. So to answer a couple of questions which said that what are we doing with Nirbhaya money? We have also started an extensive outreach program on the subject of changing the mindset and the issue of violence against women through films on different subjects which have been made available through cinema houses and the YouTube channel. We will be able to shortly launch a film on, well, it shouldn't be in this paragraph, but this is another film which Naresh ji might be interested in. And Rajiv ji, we are sending a film to every school on inappropriate touch, which will be targeted towards young children to make them understand and to deal with touching in schools, educational institutions. Srimati Anuaga, Srimati Kanimozi, Shri Rajiv Chandrasekharji, Shri Ram Das Athavale had expressed their views on issues relating to the safety of children, abuse of children in JJ homes, action for street children, the revision of the JJ Act. On the issue of safety of children, I'd like to inform you that the Ministry for Women and Child Development has introduced a comprehensive scheme called the Integrated Child Protection Scheme in 2009 and 10. Under which financial and technical support is provided to the state governments and UT administrations to provide protection services to children in difficult circumstances and to encourage quicker establishment of structures and procedures. under the JJ, the Juvenile Justice Act. ICPS has brought several existing child protection programs under one umbrella with enhanced financial norms and also introduced several new features. The erstwhile features which were merged include a program for juvenile justice, an integrated program for street children, and a system for assistance to homes like Shishu Grahas to promote in-country adoption. The new initiatives which have been incorporated include a dedicated service delivery structure for child protection at state and district levels, a child tracking system, and a 5-tier monitoring system. The scheme has been revised and approved on 28th February 2014. Besides enhanced norms for inter alia, maintenance grants, construction, etc., the revised scheme also provides flexibility in models of service delivery and certain services. ICPS aims to create a safety net of service delivery structures at national, state and district level and to place a cadre of trained personnel working for child protection. Now, what are the different components that might interest you? To avoid kidnapping, to provide for children in distress, to listen to children who might want a different view of their own future and who are on the street. Emergency outreach services are provided through Childline, which is a 24-hour toll-free emergency outreach telephone service called 1098. At present, the Childline India Foundation is the mother NGO managing this service. It is available in 281 cities with 543 partners. Funds for this service, in fact, the design of this was provided by the ministry. I would like to inform the House that on March 5th, 2015, we have launched a new and major initiative in collaboration with the Ministry of Railways to provide care and protection to children who come into contact with the railways. It was discovered that over 4 to 5 lakh children use the railways in two ways. Either they are trafficked, in which case they are taken by adults to be used as labor or other purposes somewhere, or they run away from home and they jump onto trains to avoid being beaten at home, to avoid failure of an examination and various other things. And they come to larger cities where immediately they are lost. As soon as they get down from the train, either they join a gang of ruffians who are already there, or they are taken away by adults who take them away for child labor and pay them in drugs so that they can never come back. So we are now working very closely with the Ministry of Railways to take children who are either runaways or trafficked, or are those children who are in a state of destitution, seek shelter in railway properties. We have formulated a standard operating procedure for 20 major railway stations in the country to begin with, where infrastructure is being provided to take care of these children. Designated NGOs identified by my ministry will function in collaboration with the child welfare committees and the nodal officers in railways for this purpose. The steps taken by my ministry will provide safety and assistance to a major part of over 5 lakh children a year who pass through the railway stations and need care and protection. We will expand the list of railway stations as and when we identify and capacitate NGOs for new stations. And I hope we will soon be able to provide protection for every child that comes in contact with the railways. I would like to place on record my gratitude to the Minister of Railways for collaborating with my ministry in this initiative. Shri Naresh Gujralji suggested that adoption should be encouraged and procedures should be streamlined. In this context, I would like to inform you that the ministry has taken significant steps in the last few months in the area of adoption. In 2013, the number of adoptions was 1,100. This year, in the June to August period alone, 1,650 adoptions have taken place. The improvement and simplification of procedures are being carried out from week to week, and we respond immediately to individual cases. New guidelines have been prepared by the ministry on the basis of the extensive consultations with the stakeholders. These guidelines are now in the public domain. Regarding Naresh Gujralji's, I think you have an orphanage in Jalandhar. I'd like to tell you about that orphanage. Yesterday, when I was in Amritsar, the district collector, when talking about Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, this is a thing, said, you know, ma'am, we've received a really strange response to Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, which is that all of a sudden, a lot of people have come and dumped their children into the Palna, which is now in my office. So they have received in the last 3 months 89 children, or 4 months, 89 children. And they said we've sent them to Mr. Gujral's orphanage in Jalandhar, and all of them have received homes. And one of them has done a sort of gupt, which we're not supposed to give her name, but a film star, very well-known film star, has taken one of these little children. And I'm so happy that we had 89 adoptions from one adoption center. Congratulations. The rest of the simplifications, which I would really like your help, are in the Juvenile Justice Act, which hopefully will come back, will come for a passing one of these days to the House, and for which I'd like your help. Because we have put in a lot of work on adoption guidelines, which are based in this Act. During the discussions, Honourable MPs Srimati Mosina Kidwaiji, Shri Pavan Kumar Vermaji, Dr. T. N. Seemaji, Shri Mani Shankar Ayaji, Srimati Rajni Patelji have spoken at length on the performance of the ICDS scheme, which has been in operation for more than 40 years. Their concerns related to the quality of services delivered by Anganwadis, the lack of facilities including toilets, the lack of convergence at grassroots levels, and the service conditions of the Anganwadi workers. This is perhaps the most difficult part of the ministry. The ICDS is a centrally sponsored scheme, but it is implemented by the state governments and UT administrations. With a view to address the various programmatic, management and institutional gaps, and to meet the administrative and operational challenges, government has approved strengthening and restructuring ICDS schemes, which include a special focus on children under 3 years and pregnant and lactating mothers. The strengthening and repackaging of services, including maternal care and nutritional counseling, and additional Anganwadi workers come nutritional counselors, link workers for counseling, community-based care of underweight children, Sneha Shivar in 200 high-burden districts, and improve supplementary nutrition for children and pregnant nursing mothers. Further, for the first time under the scheme, the approval and release of funds have been linked to the detailed annual action plans prepared by all states in a participatory exercise involving these states. It has laid the basis for our expectation that from next year, the state plan in all states will be based on district level plans in which the line departments, health, drinking water, sanitation, Panchayati Raj institutions will be involved, and of course the involvement of my own ministry's own institutions. I share equally your concern on the poor nutrition status of women and children in India. Though our official figures are 47%, which is bad enough, it may be slightly lower, but however, the nutrition status of population, especially of young children, is recognized as a major marker of national development. The persistent malnutrition is a major concern and demands urgent and sustained attention. It is now widely recognized that nutrition outcomes are determined by a complex interaction between individual dietary intake, health status, household food security, access to adequate health services. The government has accorded high priority to the issue of malnutrition amongst children, especially young girls, and is implementing several schemes. To tackle the problem of undernutrition, a new invigorated national nutrition mission has been formulated. Its basic structure has been designed in consultation with the state governments and other stakeholders. It involves a real-time monitoring of undernutrition and malnutrition children with the extensive use of technology. We are proposing a central monitoring system which will ensure that once a child who is underweight is identified, necessary health and nutritional services are provided to that child through the institutions of Anganwadis and Asha workers. To strengthen the monitoring system of the nutritional services under the ministry's programs, we are in the process also of establishing state-of-the-art laboratories to monitor the quality of food and take-home rations being provided to women and children. Many esteemed members have referred to the issue of skill development for women during the discussions. To begin with, my ministry has reformed the STEP program. It's called the Support to Training and Employment Program, which is long for STEP, which provides financial assistance to those NGOs which are engaged in training and skill development of women. We have received a very enthusiastic response. In the last 2 months, we have received over 3,000 applications. We are also making efforts to link women artisans directly to the market so that they are fairly compensated for their skills in this purpose. For this purpose, we are organizing women melas in different parts of the country. I would request honorable members to help us with their initiatives in their states and constituency. We have also done an important thing. I have restructured the Rajya Mahila Kosh so that it can be a strong instrument for the skill development of women, and by giving money directly for schemes, provides a holistic solution to skill development as well as financial assistance for women to become micro-entrepreneurs. Srimati Vandana Chavanji urged that protection officers should be engaged as provided under PWDV Act. She stressed on the need for awareness and new advocacy programs on laws and acts. Shri D. Raja stated that the NCW should be strengthened by nominating qualified members. Shri Rajiv Chandrasekharji and Shri Vanchuk Syam Ji expressed their concern against increase in crimes against women, and Shri Ram Kumar Kashyap Ji highlighted the need for safe transport facilities for women. The 12th five-year plan seeks to make the fulfillment of women's rights an inalienable condition for achievement of rapid and sustainable economic growth. Accordingly, the highest priority to ending gender-based inequities, discrimination and violence faced by girls and women has been outlined as a prerequisite to the objective of the 12th plan. It is proposed to launch a centrally sponsored scheme for strengthening the mechanism for combating violence against women. It may also be added that the criminal law amendment, which came into force on 3rd February 2013, has enhanced the punishment for crimes such as rape, sexual harassment, stalking, voyeurism, indecent verbal and physical gestures. In addition, the Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal of Women in Workplace Act 2013, which came into force on December 9, 2013, insists that all workplaces with more than 10 workers has to have an internal complaints committee. Now, in both these issues, I'm going to tell you not just what they are, but what we are doing. One is we come back to the NCW. The NCW has, after a great deal of work, been sent to the cabinet about a couple of months ago. And as soon as it finishes with the cabinet, it'll come here, and of course all of you, I would be happy to hear comments on it. Regarding the criminal law amendment, the Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal of Women at Workplace Act, unfortunately, we haven't been very successful in this. Most of government, and certainly most 90% of private sector, have not still got a sexual harassment committee. And we are trying to find a way in which we can make them do this. I would welcome suggestions on, I can make government do it. That's the simple part of it. But getting private sector to establish, we've been taking up individual cases where a woman has been harassed at work, and then we take up the matter with the company. But instead of doing it on a case-to-case basis, it would be good if we could find out a way in which India would listen to this really important initiative done by the previous government in 2013. Most of the members of parliament...
On this one.
Yes, tell me.
What about committee being constituted inside the parliament for this? And this is, I think, most necessary now. And looking into Article 51(1)(a), which gives this right of protection for the women, and we need something in-house over here also.
I think good idea, but the chairman will have to do that.
Yes.
Sitting at the right place.
No, it's not mine. Now that you've brought it up, it's really for the speaker and the chairman to constitute a committee.
It can be examined.
And since there are a lot of staff that work here.
It can be examined, yes.
If you will see the
it has to
Constitution,
be-
Article 15(1)(a),
Yes.
it specifically says you can't behave.
Yeah.
And there's no relief for
Okay.
members who can go into that.
Ms. Raji's suggestion will be examined.
Very well, thank you.
Yeah.
Most of the members of parliament
Please.
have raised the issues for effective implementation of the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act, such as the appointment of protection officers, training and awareness. The duty of implementation of this act lies with the state governments, UT administrations. As per available information, all states and UTs have appointed protection officers, for whatever that's worth. The Government of India has enacted the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act by repealing the 2006, by repealing the Child Marriage Restraint Act of 1929. For effective implementation of this act, all states and UTs have been requested to frame rules under the act and appoint child marriage prohibition officers. Till now, 29 states and UTs have framed rules, and 19 of them have appointed prohibition officers, and they're regularly being pursued for effective implementation of this act. Honorable Chairman, sir, the challenge of violence against women is huge. We need to find innovative ways to address this issue from both the perspective of change of mindset as well as institutional mechanisms that are created by government at various levels to tackle this problem. I would like to particularly refer to the observations made by Srimati Vandana Chauhanji and Sri Derek O'Brienji when they pointed out the need for having protection officers to handle cases of violence against women. I would like to inform the August House that I have already requested the Honourable Home Minister to examine the possibility of the appointment of special police officers to function as a bridge between women affected by violence and the police authorities. There is a gentleman in the police in Uttar Pradesh who has started an unusual new scheme called SPOs. He calls them angels, I think. And he is appointing 17, 18-year-olds in mohallas and in each village. And they become the bridge between women affected by violence, domestic violence especially, and the police. Now, we have been working with him on trying to get this scheme to go all India. And if we are successful, we can do it. We don't pay them anything, so there are no financial implications. But we are going to ask him to come and join us and see whether we can work it out. Because the only financial implication, of course, is training these women so that they don't misuse their role to become little bullies or take money or anything. But otherwise, I think it's a good idea. And it's just been brought to our attention. We've just seen a presentation on this. And we'll see how we can do it.
How many minutes more you want?
I think 2.
Okay, fine. Thank you. No. She did not complete. Let her finish. Let her finish. Don't be impatient.
I've also requested each state to have 33% of, when they do their recruitment now, to take 33% of women as police officers. So far, Gujarat is the only state that's done this, and it has an immediate effect in safety for women. Honourable Chairman, sir, I'd like to use this opportunity to appeal to your good self to all members that my ministry is proposing to bring some path-breaking legislative changes which will impact the condition of women and children. The amendment to the Juvenile Justice Act will address complex issues of heinous crimes committed by juveniles as well as pave the way for making adoption of children easier. It will also bring in the new concept of foster care, which will enable older children to be placed with willing families, which we are prepared to pay for. The amendment to the National Commission for Women will also be another instrument to strengthen the institutional infrastructure for providing safety and empowerment to women in India, because so far they have nowhere to go to in the government if something happens to them. I appeal to all members to extend their full support to these changes when they come. My ministry is fully dedicated towards creating an enabling environment, and I would seek the active support and suggestions of all the members of this House. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Derek. I'll call you, Derek first. But see, there is only limited time, but put a question only. Don't explain anything.
3 questions.
Just put. I see a lot of interest in this. Yeah. No, Derek.
I'll call you. I've got 3 questions.
Only put the question.
Only questions, sir.
Put,
1 comment and 3 questions, that's all.
No comment.
Sir, the department is called the Women and Child Development, but looking at the treasury benches, now I've realized why.
Don't go to
the minister. No, it's very important. This gives us a message. The minister very graciously in the beginning informed us that she was ready with her reply in August.
No.
And now it is March.
You put your question, otherwise I am not.
Sir, so I am only making an observation that is not the women and child development. Looking at the minister there, it's the woman and child, because there's not a single other woman from the treasury benches who's sitting there. This is a attitude issue. Sir, I have some very 3 pointed. There is a child. Women and child.
No.
3 questions, sir. One of the scheme, Three serious questions, sir. One of the schemes
Only
which
clarification is asked.
Sir,
That's the point.
clarification. Clarification one.
It's not a
One of the
question.
schemes which the government has rolled out is the Beti Bachao. And listening to the minister's reply, a test is being done in about 100 districts. This is my understanding. Now, the finance minister in his budget has allocated 100 crores for this Beti Bachao program this year.
No.
My question to the minister is, would you consider a program called Kanyashri, approved by the UN, running for the last 2.5 years, approved by the UN, rolled out, pilot over, award winning. This year the state government of West Bengal has allocated for one program, not 100 crores, 900 crores.
No.
That's a successful program. Let's not get into competitive federalism in a negative way. I'm asking
your
one
question.
question, sir. So would you consider looking at the Bengal Kanyashri program, which has been running for the last 3 years, and adapting? That's my first one. I'm making some serious points, sir, because in Republic...
Put your question.
My second point, that's my
Clarification.
first question. My second question is to do with scalability. We heard the examples you gave us. So, scalability is the issue, the nice idea with the railway minister, good idea for adoption, and the third idea is to do with inappropriate touch, spreading it in the schools. For these three ideas, what specific plans do you have for scalability? Because
Okay.
that is the challenge.
Now, Ms. Raji.
That's my second. And my third question, which she asked for some suggestions, scalability of these programs. Scalability, how do you scale them up? Not 89,
Okay.
not 89 students.
All
I'm talking
right.
about
Now, Ms.
89,000.
Raji.
My last question,
The
sir.
last one to
No,
Odia.
she wanted a suggestion I'm giving her for Vishaka.
Why you are taking so much time? There is no time.
No. I think, let me clarify, because the minister is asking me, which out of earshot. She's saying, what is scalability? I'm saying, if it's 20 railway stations, what's the plan? How do you make it 200? If it's 89 children, which is very good, how do you make it 8,900? That is scalability. Testing has been done. What are your ideas for scalability? And the last, she wanted an idea. I'm giving her one. She
That
said,
you write.
Vishaka.
No,
how
idea
do
you can write.
Sir, this is important.
Only-
Vishaka. She asked for the idea. How do you spread the message to corporates? FICCI, ASSOCHAM, all the industry bodies are doing very good work.
You are
When they lobby
monopolizing.
for acts, get them involved. They can help you spread this message.
Okay, Mr. Raji, please. You cannot be converted into this, together.
I'm going to forget.
No,
So is it
Honorable
possible?
Minister.
I'll keep my answer short, but please allow me to respond to each one.
Then
Because
it will
otherwise
take a
I
lot
won't
of
be able
time.
to.
Kindly note it down. It will take a lot of time.
Okay.
You have no time. No, just, you kindly note it down. Put, Mr. Raji, specific question.
Every other ministry you're allowing so much time.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you, Vice Chairman, sir. I fully agree with Kani Mozi, Madam, that this ministry should also be given proper time. We should not rush with this. We have got this opportunity after August, and we are now in
We discussed
March.
for how many hours?
Now we are in March.
We
So-
discussed for hours
So
this
therefore,
ministry.
while the
This
reply...
was reply only.
So after the reply... at
No,
this-
it is
at
no
this point of
discussion time.
We
It
may...
was reply.
Because
We
the
have to
hon-
take railways
honorable-
and finish today.
Honorable Minister,
So put the
Honorable
question.
Minister is liking to, wanting to
Put the
give
question, put the question.
clarification. So
the
we
question.
should welcome that, and while appreciating what the Honorable Minister has said that she is doing with respect to women and child welfare, I would like to know, because it was just stated that centers are being created, one in every state,
You may-
and they have been allotted certain works that what they will perform. Have you established any center by this date? And what is the amount you have fixed for this, for these centers? And
Yeah.
whether you are also providing,
And how many- how many
keeping a
spoke?
provision for giving legal aid to these one, because you did not mention in the, while giving that these will be the works which will be done. What about the legal aid to be provided not only to the poor women, but to all of them who are working women especially, and who are vulnerable women and children. Now, the child is not only girl, child is boys and girls both. Now, so far as the women are concerned, if you would recollect, while raising the issue and while starting the discussion, I had spoken about the vulnerable women and vulnerable children, but you have said nothing about them. How you are going to deal with respect to the vulnerable women specifically, and pointed few of them, and that was SC/ST women, the single women, which include widows, minorities women, differently abled girls, and women of that category, women going out in open, are forced to go into open in villages and other places to ease, and slum dwellers, women working as domestic servants, women working as carrying human waste. Now similarly the children, school-going children, who are vulnerable children, who are subjected to so much of harassments which we are finding every day. What are you doing for that? And especially children of poor, working women, children working in various establishments including restaurants, tea stalls, railway bus stations, domestic child workers, street vendors, private establishments, and
Yes, Ms. Raji, put the question.
One more thing. While she said that the minister said that she was doing so much for ICDS and integral for the child welfare, the budget which has just now come out, I thought you would be the first one to protest against that, because the budget reduces ICDS amount by 8,300 crore. We are still
Mr. Raji, put the question.
We are still waiting to. How can these policies and how can these schemes be carried on when your budget has been reduced by 8,300 crores? Elementary education, which is a part again for the child, 9,500 crores have been reduced. So are you going to compensate? Will ICDS is child development.
That has been reduced.
Now the
And that has been reduced to half. And so many schemes under ICDS were referred. How are you going to manage? Are you getting it from some other source? That I would like to know from.
Now, honorable members, now I see so many. Now I will allow. Listen. Now I will allow. Sit down. Now listen. Sit down. I am not having. Sit down. I see a good number of honorable members raising the hand, but kindly note, we took nearly 5 hours and 45 minutes for its discussion, and we have today morning earlier also decided that we will complete the railway discussion today before 4:30. It was the demand from the honorable members that the railway discussion has to be finished before 4:30. So I am actually personally inclined to allow the discussion for another 1 or 2 hours. Women and child, it is a subject is dear to me. So, but what can I have 2 daughters and granddaughters. But listen, but, no, why are you? No, don't make such comments. It's for me to decide. You are not controlling it. So, no, I am not allowing you. See, so what I am saying is, I see at least a dozen friends raising the hand, dozen members. My request is I can allow 1 minute, put 1 question. That is all, whoever it is. Now, so I am not allowing you, Sadhu. Yes. I have not allowed you, I have allowed Sadhu.
If you have 2 daughters, at least 1 question from the chair to the minister.
No, I will do.
I have 4 daughters.
Yeah.
So you have 2 daughters. At least 1 question from
No,
the chair.
2 daughters and 4 granddaughters. I am telling you. That's why I said this subject is very dear to me, but I have time constraint. Now, yes, please ask.
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर.
Please ask.
सबसे पहले तो सर देश की आधी आबादी सर महिलाओं की है और साथ में बच्चे भी जुड़े हुए हैं. तो इस सरकार ने सर इतने महत्वपूर्ण इस विषय में जो बजट है वो काफी कम कर दिया गया है सर. दूसरा है मैं जानना चाहती हूँ सर कि एक तो आंगनवाड़ी कार्यकर्ता है जो कि इस योजना की वुमेन एंड चाइल्ड वेलफेयर की रीढ़ की हड्डी है. कई स्टेट्स में उसकी वैकेंसीज पड़ी हुई हैं. फिर जो चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट ऑफिसर प्रोजेक्ट ऑफिसर होती है 31% वैकेंसीज उसकी खाली हैं सर. इसके साथ ही सर मैं ये जानना चाहती हूँ कि पहले आपने एक योजना जो लाए थे जिसमें करीब 50 करोड़ रुपया रखा था जिसमें सुरक्षा संबंधी था, सेफ्टी फॉर वुमेन ऑन पब्लिक रोड.
Thank you.
इसके अंतर्गत जो भी आपका सीसीटीवी कैमरा जीपीएस जो सड़क परिवहन में लगाना चाहिए इसके बारे में भी आपने अभी तक कुछ किया नहीं, कहीं देखने को नजर नहीं आ रहा है. तो मैं जानना चाहती हूँ कि इसमें सरकार ने क्या-क्या कार्यवाहियां की गई हैं.
Sir, I participated in the debates again.
Put the question only.
So I'd like to ask the minister what is her stand on the self-help groups. For example, in Tamil Nadu, when the DMK government was there, self-help groups did very well, and especially under the Deputy CM, he extended it to more than 3 lakh women. Okay. So if it is going to be stopped, it's going to affect a lot of lives, and I'd like to know her stand on it. And
Srimati Kanakalata.
Sir, 1 minute. So I had raised this in the discussion. So when it comes to child marriage, the minister was replying. I had raised one question that there is a law which says that a girl, if she within a marriage, if she is raped by the husband, and if she is only below 15, then it is taken as an offence. We have, yes, I had raised it in the thing. So this is two extreme views in the law. So what will the ministry do to bring a notice to this and rectify this?
Okay,
and,
all right.
And many of the child laborers also being
That's
rescued.
Already raised here.
So just
Srimati Kanakalata.
who've rescued are
Srimati
actually
Kanakalata.
going back
Srimati Kanakalata.
as laborers. So what is the ministry going to do to stop that? Thank you, sir.
प्रश्न पूछिए।
माननीय मंत्री महोदया, मैं पहले भी आपको अवगत कराई हूँ कि कुपोषण एक बड़ी समस्या है, और मैं ये आपको बताना भी चाहती हूँ कि प्रेगनेंसी के पीरियड में ही स्वस्थ भोजन ना मिलने के कारण कुपोषित बच्चे पैदा हो रहे हैं। मैं चाहती हूँ कि इनके लिए आप क्या सोची हैं और आगे करने का क्या आपका विचार है?
डॉक्टर टी एन सीमा, प्लीज।
Sir, it is really humiliating, and it's unfortunate that it took 7 months for this reply.
No, that is not your fault.
No, sir, it really reflects the gender insensitive mindset of the government, sir.
No, put the question, no observation.
No, sir.
That is not the minister's fault.
Why this hurry? We never get a chance to discuss on this kind of issue, sir. So my question, we know the major program of Women and Child Ministry is ICDS, and they have been that fund allocation has been reduced this year. I am not going to that. Sir, we know lakhs of women who are working as Anganwadi workers and helpers are the backbone of this scheme. And I asked a question when I participated discussion that whether the minister will consider the Indian Labour Congress conference decision to consider these lack of women working as Anganwadi workers and helpers who are not getting minimum wages as full-time workers. That was my question, sir.
Minimum wages is not in this.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Sir, I want to ask the Honourable Minister only one question. High malnutrition is a matter of national shame, and nobody disputes that. And it has been generally accepted that around 40% of children in India have been underweight. And throughout the decades, this figure has remained thereabouts. Sir, very recently, just 1 month ago, the United Nations came out with a report on India's achievements on Millennium Development Goals, in which it is shown that the proportion of children below 3 years who are underweight has fallen to 27%. Very high, still shameful, but it has fallen very significantly. This is based on a UNICEF survey. The Ministry of Women and Child Development is suppressing this survey, is not allowing this survey to be published because it shows the impact, the positive impact of ICDS and the midday meal scheme. My question to the Honourable Minister, why is the UNICEF survey not being allowed to be published? Both the national survey and the statewide survey.
D. Raja.
Sir, there has been very drastic...
Only put the question. No explanation, no observation.
I am putting the question. You are taking my time.
Yes, I have to take, because otherwise you will do like this.
No. What I am saying, there is a drastic cut in budget for children, about 29%. And ICDS scheme has been hit by 54%. Now, there is a huge gap between what the minister claims and what the government is doing. How are you going to achieve your initiatives if there is such a drastic cut in budget for children and women?
Okay, so Rajiv Chandrasekhar.
So I congratulate the minister
I have to look this side also.
for her
I
ministry's
have to look the
efforts.
right to side also. Yeah. Yeah.
Sir, I congratulate the minister and the ministry for taking steps on
Only question. No
issue of
congratulations, no
child abuse,
condemnation.
sir. But I have one specific question to address. Sir, since the prosecution of these crimes against children are so low, the rates are so low, what steps is the ministry taking to amend the POCSO Act, number one, number two, to sensitize the police and the judiciary so that justice in these crimes is done expeditiously?
Shri Raja? Oh, okay, I know, Viplav Thakur. Sorry. I'll come to you. Yeah. I'll come to you.
मैं जब डिस्कशन थी तो मैं बोली भी थी मंत्री जी के, उसको मुझे नहीं मालूम कि उनको याद है, लेकिन मैं ये जानना चाहती हूँ कि इसका बजट इतना कम कर दिया गया है इस बजट में, तो किस तरह से ये विमेन एंड चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट की बात करेंगे? विमेन के लिए इतने रेप्स हो रहे हैं, इतने बच्चे किडनैप हो रहे हैं, क्या उनके लिए कोई पॉलिसी बनाई जा रही है? किस तरह से हम एम्पावरमेंट करेंगे विमेन्स को जब हमारे पास बजट ही नहीं होगा? सोशल जो सिक्योरिटी है ये सब कुछ कम हो रहा है। मुझे नहीं समझ आता कि ये सरकार क्या कर रही है और कैसे विमेन एम्पावरमेंट की बात कर रही है, ये मैं मंत्री जी से जानना चाहती हूँ।
No more men.
मैं आपके माध्यम से माननीय मंत्री जी से जानना चाहती हूँ
No more men.
कि मानसिक रूप से विक्षिप्त महिलाओं के लिए ये कौन सी योजना बना रही हैं? और दूसरा मेरा सवाल ये है कि
रेलवे
मानसिक रूप से जो विक्षिप्त महिलाएं हैं, जिनके मेंटली डिस्टर्ब महिलाएं हैं, बहुत सारी महिलाएं ऐसी हैं कि जो मानसिक रूप से विक्षिप्त रहती हैं और वो गली और चौराहों पे घूमती रहती हैं, उनके साथ से बहुत सारे उनके कांड हो जाते हैं। और दूसरी बात मैं ये जानना चाहती हूँ कि बिहार, उड़ीसा, झारखंड और अन्य राज्यों में जो डाइन कह करके या चुड़ैल कह करके औरतों के साथ प्रताड़ना होती है, उसके लिए सरकार क्या काम कर रही है?
श्रीमती विजया सत्यनाथ।
और दूसरा ऐसा खर्च नहीं हो पा रहे हैं, उसका कारण क्या है?
Put the question only.
Point, that is, in Tamil Nadu, our great visionary, revered leader Puratchi Televi Amma has a 13-point program for the protection of women and children. That is, one among them is chemical castration, immediate hanging, and 13-point programs, which includes
Put the question.
Sir, I didn't finish my question.
You are not asking question.
I just wanted to know from the Honorable Minister whether this 13-point program, which protects the safety of women and children, would be implemented whole state of whole India.
Tamil Nadu program to be implemented.
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है मंत्री जी से, अंगनवाड़ी वर्कर 1975 से 2015 तक कितना समय हो रहा है काम कर रहा है, उसको परमानेंट वर्कर घोषित करेंगे क्या नहीं, ये मैं जवाब चाहती हूँ।
Okay, Naresh Agarwal, I allow so much because this is a women and child issue. That's why I am allowing. Naresh Agarwal ji, no more. That's enough.
अब हमने राजनीति,
now after this minister will reply.
हमने राजनीति शुरुआत करी थी मंत्री जी के पति के साथ, तो मैं तो सिर्फ दो बहुत छोटी चीजें पूछूंगा।
Put the question. No. You cannot.
दो बहुत छोटी चीजें।
Question only.
माननीय मंत्री जी, हर वर्ष करीब लाखों बच्चे किडनैप होते हैं, गायब होते हैं।
अभी नाम देते हैं। पहले दिया
इसमें लड़कियों के साथ अलग व्यवहार होता है, बच्चे जो होते हैं उनके हाथ पैर काट के दिल्ली में तमाम लोगों से भीख मंगवाई जा रही है चौराहों पे। तो एक उसको रोकने के लिए, दूसरा विधवा जो विडोज हैं, आज उनके लिए वृंदावन एक ऐसी जगह हो गई कि जिसकी विडो, जिसको लड़के बहू ने निकाल दिया, वृंदावन भेज दी जाती है। हेमा मालिनी जी ने भी उनके लिए कुछ कहा था। तो उन विडोज के लिए जो वृंदावन में उनके लिए आपने क्या योजना?
Honorable Minister, whatever you can reply, now you reply. Other rest you can write to them. If you can reply, you do it. Otherwise, you write to them. Whatever.
Okay, I'm going to try and reply as much as I can, and if I fall short, please forgive me, and I will reply to you in detail. Dr. O'Brien had asked about the Bengal Kanyashi program. Mr. O'Brien. It is truly a very, very good program. It deserves to be awarded. and we are going to, when we get some more funds, we are certainly going to try and emulate this. I have brought it up in practically every meeting as a program that works. The Bengal program is not the only one. There's a similar program in Madhya Pradesh. There are similar programs in Rajasthan. In fact, Rajasthan has gone one step further, which are also very, very good. All these involve giving financial, giving money when a child is born, when a girl is born, when she goes to school, when she finishes the 5th standard, when she finishes the 11th, when she goes to college, when she gets married. Now, I don't know whether we can do this from Delhi for every child, much as we would like to, since 10% has now gone due to the Finance Commission back to the states. But it would be wonderful that the money that has gone to the states from the center could be tied, if you would help, by the states to a program like this. It certainly would do wonders. The second thing that you've asked is, how am I going to scale up the programs that we mentioned? Now, if I can remember, one was on railway stations. There are 12,000 railway stations in this country. Here's the railway minister, he'll tell you. I just finished thanking you. The children go mainly from the east, from the east to the west, because the west is, they see it as more profitable. They come mainly to main cities like Lucknow, Delhi, Bombay. We also have very, very good NGOs which we have positioned at these 20 centers. How are we going to take it from 20 to 12,000? I don't think that we need to take it from 20 to 12,000. And in this, the answer to Nareshji's question will also come. You will need to take it maximum from 20 to about 500. This will happen during the term of this government, because we are very intensely involved with this program. Now, how will it go up? Apart from the training of NGOs, we are putting posters made in neon signs in every single box in bogie in the railways. These posters have got a phone number, 3 phone numbers, and they ask passengers that if they see an unaccompanied child, they are to immediately call these numbers. The second thing is that the railways have very kindly given us free booths at these 20 centers, and they've agreed to give it for 200 more immediately, and then as many as we want. And these booths will have a phone number which will have the same numbers which a child can use, and in fact they are at children's level. Then we will be training all the railway platform employees, not just of 20, but of the other couple of hundred. Once people start, this program cannot work unless people start reporting that they saw a child traveling, ticketless or unaccompanied, or a child that was protesting against adults that were taking it, showing that it's being trafficked. Once we start this program, enough children are being caught and returned, and enough people are being penalized, then the word gets around in India very fast, very fast. And there will be less and less children, or less and less people using the railways for this. The main carrier of trafficked children is the railways, and therefore a successful program with them will bring this figure down hugely. Then the third thing was to use FICCI and ASOCHAM. I think it's a good idea, and I will communicate to them immediately. Mr. Mishra asked me for one-stop centers. What will we do in them? This center is not just for women who have been raped or hit by their husbands or something. It's for anything, right from stalking, somebody making obscene phone calls, eve teasing. She can come. We have an ambulance attached to each one. She can be brought. If there is a heinous incident, she can come with her family or her children. She can even stay there for a few days. It will involve having a policeman. It will involve a lawyer. It will involve a psychologist. It involves nursing staff. Everything that is needed to provide a woman's safety. And for her coming case, for all the legal action, we will handle that. So this is what will be there. And that is why we need training. That will start with, as I said, one per state. And hopefully, before my time is up, it will scale up to 1 per district or more. Regarding the ICDS, yes, there has been a reduction in the ICDS. We have had to give the money to the states, and I hope that the money that we have surrendered to the states, the cut that has come to us is the amount of money that has to go under the finance commission to the state. So it's not a deliberate cut, it's part of a general reduction. Hopefully, the states will tie this for women, ICDS and child protection. We have asked for, we will be asking for supplementary demands, and in fact I have already written to the finance minister, and our secretary has already met the finance ministry, and we have had some amount of money returned and enhanced. So the situation is not as bad as that. Regarding Mr. Jairam's contention, I am delighted that it's reduced from 47 to 27. And the question is, I'm sure it's due to the midday meal. I'm sure it's due to a whole lot of ministries. But I have in no way stopped the UNICEF report from being published. In fact, to tell you the truth, I haven't even heard of it. So if we have the UNICEF report, I'm happy to have it published because it shows us in a good light. We have sent wonderful things to the Millennium Development Goals, and if this is part of them, I'd be happy to send it. So the data
There is no such report?
You know, the data in that UNICEF report, but to come to it, according to the note sorry, I'm so sorry, tell me.
No, I asked, there is no such report?
There must be a report. I'll just tell you about it. The report, I mean, I haven't heard of it, but the note that I've just received says that the reason why they didn't take the data seriously is because it had a lot of issues. It was not done district-wise, and there was no coverage at all of anemia. So they used that, and there was a different methodology used by UNICEF from what the National Health Mission is using. But all in all, if it shows a 20% reduction, I am as delighted as you are.
Okay.
Regarding the rest of it, a question was asked on how are we going to do this with an 8,300 reduction. It's not 8,300 because I've just answered that. But I'll tell you what we are going to do. The reason why Anganwadis we've had a problem with, we have 24 lakh Anganwadis. I can't make them into permanent workers because I don't have the money and the states don't have the money. This entails pensions, provident fund and other things. They are not being paid less than minimum wage because they get 3,000 rupees from us, and then the state, and the state then has to pay them the extra. So each state, depending on its finances, is paying the money. Uttar Pradesh pays the lowest. It's paying only 200 rupees a month, which is really shameful, but there's nothing we can do about it. Goa is paying 12,000 rupees a month. Even Bihar is paying 1,000 plus. So every state is paying according to its means. Now what did the Anganwadis do? In spite of having 24 lakh, we should have had no malnutrition. We shouldn't have had any pregnancy problems. We shouldn't have had children malnutrition problems. But in 40 years, they have not been trained. They have been overused and misused for electoral work. Kabhi parchi batao, kabhi stand for VIPs, kabhi anything else. We are not allowing that anymore. They come back, they do their work, we are training them. Plus, what we're doing is real-time monitoring. Each Anganwadi had to fill in 11 registers. It's impossible. I wouldn't be able to do it, much less these women who are, many of them are 5th class and 8th class pass. Plus attending to the women, plus attending to the children, plus going from house to house. So as a result, many of them don't do that at all. So now we are making sure they go from house to house. They give us real-time figures. We are getting weighing machines in which the minute you put the baby on the machine, it has it's GPS connected, and it tells us how much the baby weighs, its name, the parents, so that we know it takes the place of those registers which were often fudged. the Anganwadi herself does it.
Yeah, please.
We are giving it.
Yeah, yes.
We are giving it to them.
Okay, okay. Okay, no, please.
We are giving them
Yeah.
the weighing machines. We are also trying to find the money to give supervisors tablets in which they tell us which Anganwadi went where, and it's an evening report that they have to give us. The moment we can get them trained and into a daily report, it will lessen their burden and it will give us a much better result at the end. So that is what we're doing with the Anganwadis. Now, regarding mental health, it doesn't come under me, it comes under social justice. However, I would like to tell you that National Commission for Women was asked by me 2 months ago to do a survey of asylums where a lot of women are put in only because they become widows, they have property, and the rest of the family then conspires to remove them. So they will, for the first time since independence, be doing a survey of women who are in asylums. If they're mentally disturbed, what can we do for them? Regarding widows in Brindavan, I wish I could do more. It doesn't come under me at all. When I was in social justice, the first widows' home was set up by me. And recently, we have given a national award last Sunday on International Women's Day to a woman, a very fine woman, who lives in Mathura, Brindavan. And she actually not only picks up the women and looks after them, but she also even cremates the widows that die in the street. So we take it seriously. I just don't have an answer for you from my ministry at this point, but I would welcome suggestions. Have I left out something?
Okay. All right.
I just answered the budget several times.
Rest
Oh
you
yes,
can write.
this is really important. No, I would like to answer Srimati Kanimozi, because there seems to be a misunderstanding based on an interview which I did not give. I gave an interview to somebody in Economic Times, which was about self-help groups. And what came out the next day, we had to refute it again and again and again. So I would thank you for allowing me to do that here. I'm completely for self-help groups. They've done a wonderful job wherever they've been set up properly. I do not sometimes agree with what they have been isolated to do. Of the 50% or more, maybe, of self-help groups, many of them are simply just given goats and cows, depending on their religious persuasion, and told that this is the way to prosperity, and it never is. It never is. However, what I said in that interview was that self-help groups will be encouraged and will be paid for by Rashtriya Mahila Kosh if they approach it, as they always have been, but so will individual women. When men go to ask for a loan, they don't have to be 11 men. It can be a single man asking for a loan. So why shouldn't a single woman also be allowed to take a loan? And that is what we have done. And so 1 minute more, Rashtriya Mahila Kosh, we have in fact put 5 women on the board who have given women loans and trained them, and each woman has done over a couple of lakh other women, which is why they find themselves on the board. I hope I've answered your questions, and if I've left out any,